Well, it is just plain beautiful, and that's why we're here. It's beautiful, it's unspoiled, it's wide open, it's not too heavily populated.
I love the mountains, I love the lakes. When my kids were little, you know, we used to go swimming over on Newfound Lake, Wellington Beach, Little Squam.
It's about the state. I came here for a reason because I love it here. It's beautiful. I love the people here. I love the atmosphere. I love the outdoors. I didn't come here because I wanted to live in a city or with an industry lurking over my head.
It's beautiful, and the people who pay the price in travel and roads are compensated for the view which you can see behind us.
If you look just behind me here, you can see these small wooden lines that are there now. And what's planned, shared on that easement, which is 225 feet wide, are rather gigantic metal lattice towers that will dwarf those.
I mean, I know that when I ask my customers about why they come to the area, why they come to our business, is because they enjoy being out in the country and they enjoy the beauty of the nature around them. And they don't come to see 500-foot towers that change the whole way of the way that hill would look.
It's a feeling of violation. It feels like we're being invaded. And the worst part about that is that it's unnecessary. There are good solutions to these problems that do not include the destruction of our environment. And we shouldn't just keep destroying nature piecemeal. We have to keep something that is pristine and beautiful.
It's actually gut-wrenching, and now that visually, you know, you get to see what's happened in Groton, Rumney, and you realize just how quickly and how fast this is happening, you feel powerless.
Used, and you know, I think that they're not thinking about how we have to live with it and how it's going to impact our lives for many, many years to come.
I think anybody who saw an intrusion over your own community's rights, your own personal rights, would feel like we feel. I think they would feel that they were being compromised or used or exploited, and that they no longer felt like they had a say in their own communities or their own properties.
I'm not a hippie.
No, I'm far from being a hippie.
No. Many of us are retired people who are here because it's beautiful and because it gives us the opportunity to enjoy nature. We should remember that once the environment is damaged, it can't be undamaged.
And the idea of those ridges and disappearing is a disgrace, because the end result is, according to any studies we've seen, we don't get much for what we lose.
I'm in the business. People aren't able to sell their property. It's only common sense. It's going to destroy your property. You would feel the same way. You would feel the same way if it happened on your property.
The real estate market that is near this project, or even the potential of this project, is pretty much frozen. The few houses that people have been able to sell have been sold at way, way, way below what they would ordinarily have been able to sell for. And if nobody wants to come and build a second home overlooking something awful, that's really going to hurt us, and we're already seeing the effects.
Well, it is a huge gamble, because once the landscape is altered, it can't be unaltered. And so if we allow thoughtless construction and quote development, then we have a very good chance of destroying what we treasure most.
What they're proposing to do is a big scar on something that's very pristine, and it really won't have, it just doesn't seem that it's going to have any kind of economical payback. So why should we have to endure it?
Well, I don't think the corporations worry about the beauty of a place or the culture of a state. They want to make money. And I believe that's why they're here, because there's a lot of money to be made. There's people in the Massachusetts, Connecticut need energy, and we are in the way.
I think that money is what's talking, and people are thinking about money, and money is not what it's about for me.
These are corporate business deals. They have nothing to do with us in New Hampshire, really. They have to do with making huge amounts of money, and they don't care about what happens to us. They don't care about what happens to people near the power lines, for example, or near where whatever other project they want to erect. They don't care about that, and we don't really have too much legal recourse to protect ourselves. We're defenseless. And I think anyone who faced that kind of threat of damage would fight back, would try to protect themselves. That's what's going on here. People who are looking into the face of something incredibly damaging to them are fighting back to defend themselves.
The power brokers are asking us to give up what we treasure. Would the people of the state ever consider putting power lines through Lake Winnipesaukee or on Hampton Beach? Not in a million years would they consider giving up what they treasure, so why are they asking us to?
Why are you asking us to consider this? This is our playground, this is our home. So we don't want it here any more than anybody would want it in their backyard.
Well, it would be like taking the shoreline, Nantucket, any of the areas that they summer to or that they value for boating, anything that's of value to them, or tearing down Fenway Park, or anything that they feel is important to them. And that wouldn't go over too well, I don't think.
We're asking for a year's moratorium until the legislature can devise public policy that will be very much more beneficial to the state.
Probably about a year to try to understand what it is we're trying to do here in the state.
We need to buy time to get a comprehensive plan. The last energy plan that was put together has sunsetted. It's out of date by 10, it's been 10 years, and we haven't put a new one in place.
To make sure that this is really something that is going to be worth the cost.
Is it too much to ask that we stop for a minute and take a look at what all the effects could be of projects that are headed our way, that are either in the permitting process or thought of somewhere? Is it too much to say, well, wait a minute, let's look at all the possibilities. Let's really look at the kind of damage that could be inflicted that no one seems to care about. Is that too much to ask?
I think we could have a win-win situation where we could find a renewable, sustainable energy source, but not ruin our ridges, our ridge tops, and the most beautiful views of New Hampshire.
We're just asking for time.